Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. We're physically back in sunny Singapore, but in this video, we're taking you with us to Mount Bromo at the Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park, East Java, Indonesia. This has been in our list of must-visit places since a fellow traveler and friend of mine remarked that this is the most beautiful place she's ever been. Does it live up to the expectation? Why don't you see and decide for yourself? To get to Mount Bromo, we departed from Malang at about 1 a.m. It took us less than 2 hours to reach the rest area at the Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park. It was already pretty cold here, and there were lots of people selling gloves and beanies. We recommend that you bring your own, but if you don't, the ones they sell here are not bad for the price. Here we had a quick rest and breakfast of Indomie and hot tea, which tastes lots better in this weather, as I'm sure you can imagine. Before 4 a.m., we got onto a jeep and began our ascent to the sunrise point, where we'd catch the sunrise. There are a number of sunrise points in Bromo, but you have to pick one of them. You can only be in one place at one time. The one we went to was Bukit Cinta, which according to our cousin who lives in Malang has the best view of them all. We haven't been to any of the others though, so there's nothing for us to compare it to. When we got there, it was very crowded and cold. You need a full winter gear here. The temperature was in the single digits. In Celsius, that is. We had to climb a few flights of stairs in the dark to get to the lookout point, where we had to rent a mat, a blanket, and sit and wait patiently for dawn to break. When it did, we got a good look at the vast landscape before us. You'd understand why so many people came to Bromo and braved the cold. The view was otherworldly beautiful. You see the majestic jagged mountains and the sea of sand surrounding them. I'll let the visual speak for itself. What we're seeing here, what the locals refer to as Segara Wedi, Javanese for the Sea of Sand, is actually a huge caldera, a circular depression in the center of a volcano summit that formed around 8,000 years ago in what must have been a massive eruption. Subsequent volcanic activity then formed the cluster of cinder cones in the caldera center, including Mount Bromo, the only one still active. Outside this caldera, there are several more summits. Semeru at 3,676 meters is one of them, the highest mountain in Java Island and also an active volcano. This was all there was to Bromo, it would still be worth it. But our tour included a few more spots. We walked back to our jeep, which would now descend to the caldera and let us see the sea of sand up close. All the tour operators use these four-wheel drive off-road capable vehicles to get around in the national park. They suit the volcanic landscape, as you shall soon see. Still, the jeep ride was quite rough. We were told the jeep could carry a group of 6, but we were grateful there were only 3 of us. It would be less comfortable otherwise. jeep dropped us on the caldera, and from here we could walk to see the crater. We could choose to ride a horse too, but we couldn't bear to. The horses looked like they were having a hard time in the environment. And we didn't mind the walk, not when the landscape was this amazing to behold. The black sand was so fine, they were practically ashes, and they got into our shoes as we walked. By then, the sun was fully up and it's got significantly warmer too. You can shed a layer of clothing. The final part of the climb involved a steep flight of stairs built onto the side of the crater that took us right to the crater rim. The crater was an impressive sight with steaming and smoking sulfur. But no less impressive was the noise, the roar emanating from the earth. Have a listen. Walking up to the crater and back to where our jeep was parked took 1 to 1.5 hours. And then we continued to the final stop in our tour, Teletubbies Hill, named so because, well, it resembles the hills where the Teletubbies live. I don't watch Teletubbies myself, but what do you think? Okay, I guess it's those rounded hills. By now you should be hungry or peckish, so you'd be happy to find sellers of food and drinks here. We bought some paus. And then we hopped onto our jeep and drove around the national park, soaking in and admiring the views, taking more photos. In case you're wondering, you can't bring and drive your own vehicles in the national park. This is a protected tourism industry, and you have to engage the local tour operators. Rest assured, they are safe and very well organized. For the 3 of us, the tour cost 1.5 million rupiahs, inclusive of transfer from and to Malang. And that's the Bromo tour, everyone. From here, the jeep took us back to the rest area, where we transferred to a car that took us back to Malang. This was without a doubt the highlight of our time in Malang. It's definitely one of the most unique and beautiful landscapes we've seen in the world. We hope you had a great time watching and following us on this video. But if you have a chance, you should visit Bromo yourself for an unforgettable experience.